Ay, give me the chip, I need the championship. Wait, we got a drink next to the team, yeah, we can handle it.
What up, what up? Welcome back to the Fight Pit, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Welcome back to any of the returning subscribers, and welcome to anybody who's joining us in the Fight Pit for the very first time. We appreciate you guys. Today, we are taking a look at UFC Fight Night, Machado-Garry versus Prates, going down April 26th at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri, getting a good one. They lucked up. Had the Prates versus Jeff Neal fight fall out and ended up losing the Khalil Roundtree Jamal Hill main event. But I think throwing Ian Machado-Garry versus Prates as the main event just to make up for it is I think it's gonna work out. I think it's gonna work out. Not a bad replacement fight, if I do say so myself. Some pretty solid fights also on this main card. Some decent fights on the undercard. But before we get too deep into it, I gotta check in on my boys, because that's what this is all about. The boys in the fight pit, chatting shit and throwing down on some fights, baby. This is the best part of my week every single week, and I cannot even tell you how much I enjoy this. We gotta say what's up to one of the returning staples of the fight pit. It has been too long, baby. We got Kai Guy, the Gold Mule. Kyle, welcome back. How the hell are you, my man?
Not too shabby. I'm realizing right now that I never changed my nameplate from the last NFL episode that I did, but that's all right. I'm gonna leave it like that because I don't even care. It shows how sleep deprived I am, keeping the gridiron going, keeping the lights up. And I've missed this. I've missed y'all. It's good to be back in the fight pit.
Amen, brother. We don't mind at all, and honestly, I think it actually works out because we've had some
my Chicago Bears. It's always gonna work out.
Amen, brother. Amen. Holding it down for the House Call Sports NFL episodes. If anybody watching, if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're all about all major sports like we are, check out the Gridiron podcast on one of our sister channels. You can probably scroll down on our page and it'll have it linked there for you too. And of course, one of the most solid dudes you have ever met in your life, holding it down downstairs. We got Sean Ryan Sports. Sean, how are you, brother?
Doing good. Sean Woodson, man, you go to hell for losing that fight. Fucking busted goddamn $450. Just Sean Woodson.
Oh,
God damn it. Man, only thing.
Man.
Busted all three of my bets. God
I was feeling pretty down about myself too. I need to be careful on this one because I have my decline, my fall from grace has been swift and brutal as of late. Last couple cards, I think maybe I got 2 picks correct out of all of them. So I got to really mind my P's and Q's on this one too. One thing that I did notice that I think I might put into effect on this one too, something that Sean has been doing that, because I'm like a pattern recognition type of guy, ADHD, detail-oriented type of guy. I've noticed that anytime a fight is like an older vet, someone that I know and love, someone that is imprinted on my heart, going up against a new up-and-comer, Sean always picks the up-and-comer, I always pick the old vet, and Sean always wins. So just something to keep in mind. Something to
It was literally every time I used to draw up outlines, I would give those fights to Sean because I'm like, take old Yeller out back for us.
Yeah. And I always do it. I always pick against old dog. I always do it. It's rough.
He always does. And then this last one, we're going to get into some recap for the UFC 314 card that just wrapped up too. But this one was no different. And It was the first, I think, what was it, like 7 or 8 featherweight championship fights that Sean had called correctly. He had Diego Lopez on this one. That's the first one he's lost in years. So it's been sans this previous fight where Volk just shattered all curses and trends and everything like that. It's worked out quite well for him. So I tip of my beanie to you, sir. Doing very well. Doing very well.
I will gladly take that loss, though. Volk is back on top.
It is.
I think we'll all take that loss because I didn't think he was going to win. I thought it's the 35-year-old curse. Come on. We didn't think he was going to do it, but he did, and it's beautiful. And that's why we love this sport. Because
that second round
people like Randy Couture and people like Alexander Volkanovski.
Yep.
The world is right again. Let me tell you, the world is right again. The air feels fresher, the birds are chirping, the sky is bluer, the sun is brighter, and it's one of the few times where we, as of late, have been very satisfied after an Alexander Volkanovski title fight. So it's good to have the MMA gods on our side for this one at least. But speaking of UFC 314, Alexander Volkanovski recrowned as champion. Going back through and looking at the rest of the card, we had Paddy Pimblett absolutely dismantling Michael Chandler. Very, very solid performance. One of very few KO TKO losses in Michael Chandler's long and tenured career. Yair Rodriguez throwing Patricio Pitbull right into the deep end and seeing if he can sink or swim in the UFC. And I don't want to quite say that he sunk, but he did not make it to the other end of the pool on this one. So Yair Rodriguez putting a halt to the debutante on that one. The Bryce Mitchell Jean Silva fight. Oh Lord, did that live up to expectations? At least in my opinion.
They're going to have multiple champions by the end of the year.
Yep. Sean, right away okay. In the Discord, guys. We have been riding the Fight Nerd train, pause, for quite some time, and it has not let us down yet. And that is going to come into play later on in this episode. So keep that in mind. But let me get your thoughts, Kyle. You're returning, haven't heard from you in a while, so we'll get your thoughts on this one. How'd you feel? What were the highlights? Anything that you regretted in that one? Anything that you wish would have went differently? How'd you feel about 314, brother?
Man, good weekend of fights. I loved Paddy Pimblett just making a statement, like with his promo, with his performance, like everything that weekend was turning up Paddy Pimblett. It was a great weekend for him. Obviously, great weekend for Volk. It is awesome to see him get the championship back, especially against a great competitor in Diego Lopes. The biggest thing from the weekend had to be Jean Silva just choking the life out of Bryce Mitchell. Are you kidding me? That was an iconic image. I think the first thing I saw was some post where somebody had snapped that submission. They were like, okay, I guess the earth is round. And I'm like, all right, that's awesome. That's fantastic. That was my highlight of 314.
I gotta say, I'm happy that I've never had any ill intent. I make jokes, I joke a lot on my, satirical MMA content posts and stuff. I've made a lot of jokes at Bryce Mitchell's expense. Nothing with malintent. I absolutely love Bryce Mitchell. I wish him nothing but the best in life. Don't agree with some of the things that he says, but I think that we can say that about just about everybody in the world. I don't think there's anyone in the world that we 100% blindly agree with everything with. But that being said, I'm glad that he had a good showing. I think that everybody was counting on him getting absolutely decapitated within 30 seconds, and he held his own. He went in there and took it like a man, and absolutely nothing but respect and love to Bryce Mitchell. I hope he's recovering well. I hope he's surrounded by people that he loves, surrounded by loved ones, surrounded by a good support system. Hope everything goes just swimmingly for him in life. Jean Silva, though, dude. Real quick, before I get Sean's thoughts, over under, we'll say 1 year from today. So over under 1 year. How long until Jean Silva fights for the title, Kyle?
Under
1 year, Sean?
Under a year, easily.
Yeah, it's going to be under 1 year. He has one more fight, then he's fighting for the title. Yeah.
Oh, that's bold, bro. That's bold. Because he was, I do believe he was unranked. I haven't checked the rankings
No, he's
yet.
it's like 8 now, I think.
He is? Okay. So previously unranked, going to a title fight in under a year, that's some Cody Garbrandt stuff, bro. That's some beautiful stuff. That's some Alex Pereira stuff. I like it. I like it. They haven't met 11.
Wow.
So Bryce,
maybe two fights. Maybe 2 fights.
So Bryce Mitchell, I think, was like number 12 or so, number 15, somewhere in there.
He's not ranked anymore.
Oof. Bounced him. Damn. Poor guy.
Damn dirty.
That's how it goes sometimes, man, especially when you're going up against a fighting nerd. That's a dangerous group. That is a dangerous group. Sean, highlights on 314, thoughts, regrets, anything you want to highlight?
First, I'm very happy that my streak is over with the featherweight championship fights. I am totally okay with it. That's like Volk is he's almost everyone's favorite fighter. Everyone loves him. Like here, we love fighting champions. We don't want champions that don't fight often or we have to beg him to fight. Volk was never that. He wants to fight before September. Yair Rodriguez was saying September. He's like, I want to fight beforehand. I do have a hot take on that, but I'll talk about 314 first, and then I'll give you my hot take with Volk real quick. Gene Silva, I already said it. 1 fight, and then I believe for the title, you got to push him. You can't just put him against number 10, then number 6, then number 2. No, you got to push his ass. Like he's superstardom right now. Volk's on his older side. It's like you got to have someone ready. Ilya's moving up. Max has moved up. Brian Ortega, we don't know. So it's you got a superstar right there. Just run it. Paddy Pimblett, absolutely loved it. I thought he was going to dominate, but not that much. But good for him. I want to see him against Charles Oliveira personally. I don't want to see him against Justin Gaethje because I think he smokes Justin Gaethje. He'll get Justin Gaethje to the ground and beat the hell out of him. That's my opinion. I do not think Justin
Gaethje is such a better wrestler than you're saying, right? That's crazy what you just said.
All-American wrestler gets smoked by Paddy Pimblett?
Paddy said it before this fight. There's a difference between All-American and MMA wrestling. There is a difference. True. He said it before this fight because they said the All-American shit with damn Michael Chandler. That did not work whatsoever, and it's not going to work here either. And we've seen, it's not like we haven't seen Gaethje get taken down. And whenever he goes against the elite of grapplers, he ends up on the ground and he ends up losing. So I do believe that we should have 2 of the elites go at it when it comes to the ground game, being Paddy and Charles. Because if he beats Gaethje, we really don't know how good he is in fighting Islam or if it's Ilya or whoever's the belt. But if you put him against Charles, you already know this guy's an absolute for real freak. So we're talking about him beating a contender versus him beating a very good champion. So that's my opinion on that. Volk, congratulations. Love it. Here's my hot take. Please retire. Here's why. I consider you a top 5 greatest fighter of all time. I actually was going over it, and I have like John Jones up there, GSP. You have Demetrius Johnson. I believe Islam with 1 or 2 more fights will be up there, and you have Anderson Silva up there. You have and you have Volk. In my opinion, Islam does have the 2 wins over you, so what he does in the future will deter if he's ahead of you right now. But if it ended right now, if neither of you guys fought again, I would still put Volk higher in my 5 spot. And in my opinion, he could even slide up into 4 if you want to take out like PED stuff and take out Anderson Silva, or if you just think Demetrius Johnson had no competition. And while you look at the strength of schedule of Volkanovski, and it's like they have the same amount of UFC losses. So because Demetrius Johnson started at bantamweight, so it's like you could say you could even put Volk in front of Demetrius Johnson, in all honesty, because look at who he's beaten versus Demetrius Johnson too. So that's why I have him as a top 5 greatest fighter of all time. And if you fight Movsar Evelev, what does that do for you? Doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything for you. What, you beat a guy that's undefeated, but he doesn't have, it'll only be a good loss if he wins like 6 title fights afterwards. That's the only way that's a good loss. If you go against Yair Rodriguez and get head kick knocked out, it's not a good, and you've already beaten him. It doesn't matter. There's no one, and if you lose to Gene Silva is an up and comer. He's not the guy right now. He's not a superstar, or like he's not like run off. He's undefeated in UFC. Great. There's nothing you need to prove at all. Nothing. You're 36. You did it. This win you needed to do because it basically said, I broke every curse possible. I'm the guy. Now let me hang it up. Just legitimately, that solidifies you in the top 5. You might be able to move Anderson Silva down. You might be able to move Demetrius Johnson down and put Volk in front of one of them. I still think GSP and John Jones are my secure 1 and 2. I don't think I can really do anything with that. That's my hot take. What do you guys think on that?
I don't disagree. I am firm in my stance that I have always and will always hate GOAT debates. I think they're absolutely pointless. I can't stand them. I do comment on aspects of those debates at times, but you'll never hear me saying, who solid GOATs are, except for John Jones. The only solid take I have, the hill that I stand on as far as the GOATs, is that right now I do think John Jones is the number 1 GOAT of all time. The only things I will say to rebuke what you said is that I think if we are going to have that conversation and we're going to take out the PED aspect of it, unfortunately, that does eliminate John Jones and possibly GSP and Anderson Silva. That makes it real tricky.
George
And
St. Pierre never used steroids. What the fuck is this? No, because I'm going to jump in right now because I think
he never tested positive. He never tested positive.
I think that if you ain't first, you're last, and George St. Pierre is the greatest of all time.
I fully agree, yes. And that's why I hate the fucking GOAT debates, dude. The only other solid point that I will stand on is that Daniel Cormier needs to be in that fucking conversation. Nobody ever has him up there. I don't care what your order is. Daniel Cormier is somewhere up in there. I don't care where you put him. I don't care what the rest of the order is. Daniel Cormier is up there. And that's the fact, Jack. But yes, I do fully agree. Volk, one of the absolute greatest of all times. He is just an amazing fighter. He's been an amazing champion, being able to do what he's done at the age that he's doing it, especially at the age that he's doing it. I'm so happy for him. That was the highlight of the night for me. Also considering I wanted to see Michael Chandler do well, that did not happen. I wanted to see, I picked Jean Silva. I was fully confident that he was going to win. I wanted to see Bryce Mitchell not just get absolutely starched and embarrassed. That ended up working out, so that was great. And then the other one that I do have to mention was that Dominic Reyes covering as the dog with the knockout. Gage called it. Gage hit that pick. He hit the dog of the week, and that was another one of those heart picks that we really wanted to see, and it ended up working out. Happy to see Dominic Reyes back to his old ways, doing what we know and love Dominic Reyes to do. So that was good stuff. That was good stuff. I loved it. Great card all around.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to say about 314 was I was going through the UFC cards just to see how long, because I knew this year it's the best card 100%, because we went over it the last time how there's been a lot of crap cards up to this point. This was phenomenal. The prelims, the early prelims, the main card, every fight I was excited for, definitely on the main card. I was excited. There was someone I was rooting for. I just wanted to see what was coming up. And I was looking back and I'm like, other than maybe like 301 with Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev, I'm like, this might be the best card since UFC 300. Like, I really, really enjoyed this card. Everything. Like, I was so happy for Dominic Reyes because there's a thing that showed up of his high school yearbook when he said something about, like, it's not about being great at something right off the start. It's about losing and coming back. And it's like, that's exactly what he's doing. And he put that in his high school yearbook quote. And it's like, who isn't rooting for Dominic Reyes at this moment? Maybe John Jones, but anyone else.
Very true. Very true. That is good to see. That's something that I think a lot of people in general, but especially a lot of fight fans, a lot of people who have GOAT debates and stuff like that, something that they don't take into account is adversity, things like that. There's a lot of greats that have gone through adversity. There's a lot of guys that people consider great that haven't faced much adversity. And I think a lot of people do judge things like that based on, people think that the least amount of losses makes you better, or being undefeated makes you automatically the greatest and things like that. And I think a lot of times people forget about the human aspect of this game and of this sport, and how important it is, how difficult it is, and how extraordinary it is for people to go through things like that and still come out and be able to not only win, but just to keep going, because there's so many aspects of mixed martial arts that just absolutely deflate you. A lot of people, there's a lot of people who cover this sport, who follow this sport, who not only haven't fought or competed in any kind of mixed martial arts competition, but don't even train. Nobody in the fight pit, obviously, but people out there.
Maybe me.
That just, well, competition aside, it's very obvious. Anybody who knows their shit knows that you know your shit. I say it all the time, people who know, and people who know that you know. And that's, a lot of people just, they don't take things like that into account. They take just, records, wins, and belts and things like that. There's a lot more that goes into a career. There's a lot more that goes into this game than people give fighters credit for. So happy for Dominic Reyes. Wish him nothing but the best. Want to see great things from him. Hopefully he's back to his ways and able to make a run. That would be cool, because we are hurting for contenders at light heavyweight. So having Dominic Reyes back in the mix would make things so much better.
We got a dream next to the team. Yeah, we can handle it.
Before we get too much further into this episode, we got to give a quick shout out to this episode's sponsor, Bucked Up Supplements. The good people at Bucked Up aim to provide customers with the highest quality supplements and fitness products that help to achieve your health and fitness goals. Bucked Up is committed to using only the best ingredients and the latest scientific research to create innovative and effective products that enhance performance, increase energy, and promote overall wellness. Whether you're looking to bulk up, lose weight, get shredded, or just improve your overall health, Bucked Up has the right supplements for you. Bucked Up provides an array of supplements, including pre-workouts, proteins, creatine, test boosters, BCAAs, vitamins, and their signature deer antler velvet spray. Not sure where to start? Bucked Up also offers pre-selected stacks that bundle the right supplements for your goals for you. With their 35-day money-back guarantee on all supplement products, you don't have to worry about wasting your hard-earned money, which is always a good thing. So scroll on down, click the link in the description to go straight to the Bucked Up website and use code FightPit20 to receive 20% off your supplement order every time you order. Thank you so much to Bucked Up for sponsoring the Fight Pit, keeping the lights on. We appreciate you guys.
We got a dream next to the team. Yeah, we can handle it.
All right, we are going to breeze through the prelim fights on this UFC Fight Night Machado-Garry versus Prates card. Some notables on here you guys might recognize. We got some good ones on this one. Opening up the night, Chelsea Chandler, shout out 209. Going up against Jocelyn Edwards, I think is going to be a good fight to open up the night. Followed by Timothy Kwamba versus Roberto Romero, Jacqueline Amorim versus Poliana Viana. Be still my heart. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Cameron Simon, great one. Once Kyle returns with us shortly, I know he's going to want to talk about Damon Blackshear versus Alatang Haley. Then Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda, I think is a solid fight. Followed by Evan Elder versus Ahmad Hassanzada. And then capping the prelim card with Matt Danger Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. Great prelim main event. Great prelim main event on that one too. Right off the bat, as always, you guys know me, I'm from the 209. I am always going to blindly support anybody from the 209. So I like Chelsea Chandler in this one. That's just how it goes, dude. I'm loyal to my soil. I'm going to support anybody coming from the 209 in anything that they do. So rocking with Chelsea Chandler. Shout out to the homies back home at the Gracie Fighter camp. Wish you guys all the best. Wish nothing but the best for anybody coming out of the 209. Chelsea Chandler, riding with Chelsea Chandler on that one. Also, obviously, it's the Fight Pit, so you know we're going Damon Blackshear. You just know we're going. Anytime Damon Blackshear fights, you know we're going Damon Blackshear on that one. The Chris Gutierrez, John Castaneda one is going to be tough. That's a tough one for me to call. I think it's going to be a solid fight, but it's very tough for me to call anyone on that one. And I'm also a very big Matt Schnell fan. I've always loved Matt Schnell, so I'm riding with Matt Schnell on that one. How do you like these prelims? Anything stand out to you? Any bets you want to throw out? What's it looking like for you?
I'll start with the Matt Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. That's a closer fight than the odds say it is. That's a little. Yeah. Yes, I would pick Matt Schnell. So yes, okay. Well, if I'm picking him, then how are the odds not supposed to be that big? I understand that point, but I feel like it's sometimes you can gauge when the odds are a little too spread. Like you're like, If you see like almost a -3-1 favorite, you expect him to either get like a really convincing 29-28, 30-27, or even a finish. That's really kind of what you're looking at. And I feel like this is going to be a close 3-round fight, if not either one of these guys can get a finish. So that's just me. Plus, Jimmy Flick has 15 submissions in his and 2 knockouts. Like his all 17 wins are finishes. Like how is this guy a 2.5-1 underdog almost? And he has 17 finishes and 17 wins. Like, come on, man. Like that's a hell of a fight. It really is. That's a really good fight. Yeah. It's one of those fights that if you watch Dana White, he's like, if you don't know, now you know. This is one of those you need to know about. That fight is one of those that pay attention to, please. Evan Elder, I like watching him. Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda is like, damn good. That's a close fight also. Damon Blackshear, don't need to say more. The man's fucking awesome. Always rooting for him. Never not rooting for him. Like, didn't he fight not too long ago too? I swear he did.
He did.
It's
yeah.
November?
It was
November, huh? I thought he fought since November. Really thought he fought this year.
He fought Cody Gibson in March.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So he's fighting a month later. Wow.
Yep, coming off a second round submission win over Cody Gibson, turning right around and fighting so March 15th. So yeah, just a little bit over a month.
That's amazing. Good for him. That's another reason we like fighters that fight. We like champions that fight. And Damon Blackshear doesn't just go for a rear naked choke. He tries to actually hurt you with the submission. He tries to break an arm, twister, for God's sake. Like, that's disgusting. So these prelims are pretty loaded. They really are.
Oh yeah.
Don't need to say anything about Jacqueline versus Polyana. That's not one you want to miss, but for different reasons. But yeah. So prelims, I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10 for prelims. Like this, even though a lot of people aren't going to know some of these fighters, they're still damn good. They're good fights. They're good matchups. Is there anyone that's like a blowout favorite? Oh yeah, Jacqueline is a blowout favorite. Oh well, we're not really.
That is odds on that fight. Yeah. I am so glad that you guys share my sense of humor. You have no idea. Yeah, currently we got Jacqueline Amorim as a minus 550 over Polyana Viana. My apologies. The next closest one, or the next furthest one, I should say, Evan Elder is a minus 415 against Ahmad Hassanzada at plus 315. And then the Matt Schnell, Jimmy Flick that you mentioned, Matt Schnell sitting at a minus 340 currently. Jimmy Flick creeping up closer, but still at a plus 280.
Jesus. Well, on UFC site, they have it minus 265, plus 215. So the odds got worse for Flick. Wow. Yeah.
There, I think with these tickers also, whenever things go up, that means that it's like getting further, and then when it's going down, it means it's getting closer. I don't know. But okay. So we know the plus and minus. That's all that we really worry about. But yeah, with the current bet online odds, shout out to fightodds.io. That is where we get all of our up to the minute odds for that. Right now, Jacqueline Amorim, biggest favorite. Not the biggest favorite on the card, biggest favorite on the prelims though, and then followed by Evan Elder at a minus 415.
Minus 500 should always be a finish. That's my opinion. If you're minus 500, you either get a finish or you get finished. We're hoping one of those happen for all our pleasure.
Not mad at that.
Definitely with that
all. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we gotta make sure that Kyle is able to get his 2 cents in on his man Damon Blackshear, and then we're gonna have him throw his main card picks out at you before he heads out. Appreciate you sticking with us. I know time zones and everything tough, man. Kai guy, let us know where are we going on this one.
No worries. I'll be completely transparent. I'm sick as a dog right now, y'all. I'll keep it short, sweet, to the point. Damon Blackshear, every time he fights, it is must-see TV. That is my guy. You are never going to find a more exciting fighter. I'm going to burn through this so freaking fast. Give me Ikram Aloskerov. Give me Nicholas Dalby in the upset. Give me Michel Pereira. But truthfully, just look for a finish in that one. Under 2.5 for that one. Give me Giga Chikadze, pull the upset. On the other side of it, I'm going with the favorite in Mingyang, and I am going with Ian Machado-Garry. I'm riding the hype train until the wheels fall off. There we go.
Let's go.
I love y'all. Hopefully I can get on for a full episode very, very soon. I miss y'all. Love the Fight Pit. It's great to be back in any capacity.
We are happy to have you back in any capacity, dude. On that note, you're locked in. Wish you the best. Go feel better, man. We'll see you soon.
Love y'all.
Catch you later.
Love you, brother. Peace. Moving right along to the main card. We got Kyle's picks locked in. I'm going to have them all on the graphic at the end. You know how we do it. If you guys are just looking straight for picks, anybody watching at home, if you're just looking for picks and you're not looking to listen to us through this whole thing, you can hit the timestamps down at the bottom. I always got them in the description. Official picks, you can jump right to them. But if you want to hang out, if you want to hang and talk shop with us, we appreciate that too. We're opening up the main card with Ikram Aloskerov versus Andre Muniz. We already got Kyle locked in on Aloskerov. I am going to second Ikram Aloskerov. I do not have much faith in Andre Muniz whatsoever. I don't think very many people do, given that he is a plus 475. Sean, is this an official pick?
Yeah, this is official pick. And once, like I said earlier, anything sniffing minus 500 or more, it better be a finish. So if this makes the distance, it's actually kind of sad. So I'm definitely going minus 2.5 also.
Minus 2.5. You locking that in?
Yeah.
Excellent. Under 2.5. That's a good point too. And Aloskerov, has Aloskerov fought since the Robert Whittaker fight?
No, he's been off.
He hasn't.
Well, which is a good thing too. It's a good thing too.
Let's see. Aloskerov had this fight. Oh, this was scheduled for December. Oh my gosh, this was scheduled for many times. Okay. Well, fingers crossed. I mean, we're not too far out. But yeah, goodness gracious. All right. Lock that in, everybody. Ikram Aloskerov money line is the first official pick for us, and we are all unanimous. The next fight up, we got Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. I'll let you start this one, Sean. Anything special you want to highlight?
First, the height and reach advantage for Randy Brown is ridiculous. He's insane. 6'3" with a 78-inch reach, so he has a 4-inch height and reach advantage in this fight. And on top of it, he's had more finishes in UFC, while Nicholas Dalby, at this point, if you look at his last 7 or 8 fights over the last 4 or 5 years, he's basically been a decision merchant. If he's going to win, it's going to be by decision. And Randy Brown, he has quite a few finishes, but at the same point, he's had some more decisions also. Normally, when I get to welterweight and above, I like going with finishes more often than not, but I can't do that here. I'm gonna go with Randy Brown. I think he's gonna piece him up from the outside quite a bit on this fight, and I think it's gonna be probably a 29-28 or even a 30-27. So I would say over 1.5. I don't think this will be a first round finish whatsoever. And I'm going Randy Brown, so I'll be different from Kyle.
I like it. I agree with you. I'm going Rude Boy also. This one, I just think that I think Randy Brown's, one of those guys who's got enough experience now to where he's seen it all. There's not going to be too much that Nicholas Dalby is going to be able to throw at him that he hasn't experienced already. So he's the type of well-rounded guy that I think can get done anywhere. Nicholas Dalby, very durable though, very durable. I would go as far as to say that he is a live dog, because he is always capable of getting it done. But in this one, I think Randy Brown's just gonna have too much for him. I think, like you highlighted, the height and reach, the striking, I think it's gonna go just about the same. If Randy Brown does not get if he's not able to clock him and put him down and get the finish one way or another, I do see him getting that decision too. So we got 2 for Randy Brown, 1 for Nicholas Dalby.
Yep.
Next one up, Michel Pereira versus Abus Magomedov.
Good fight. Good
Pretty
fight.
sick fight, dude. That's
Good
a pretty
fight.
sick fight. Michel Pereira currently ranked number 14 in the division. Abus Magomedov unranked, but always dangerous. We got 1 from Kyle for Michel Pereira. I'm going to make it 2 for Michel Pereira. I think that he is going to get the finish in this one because he's just that kind of guy. Sean, are we unanimous?
I really think Pereira could get this. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pereira because the last time he was finished was a KO by Sean Strickland, and that was the one that Sean Strickland won, and then he ended up fighting Israel Adesanya. So he doesn't get finished very often. I think he's only been finished twice in his career, if I am correct. But Michel Pereira, it's all or nothing, and Abus can put some people down too. He has 21 of his 27 wins are by finish. So I think the safest bet, even though the odds are going to be kind of bad, is under 2.5. I really do think, like, if there's scorecards in this fight, that's unbelievable. I really do believe that. Michel Pereira blows the wad in the first round, and then a guy like Abus Magomedov could finish him off if he doesn't get finished himself.
Agreed. Even when Pereira loses, he's losing under 2.5. We saw, he's losing before the scorecards. Fluffy got it done, I think, 4th round or so. But yeah, I agree. I am also going to say that this one goes under 2.5. I'm going to lock that in. And we are unanimous on Michel Pereira. So that is the second official pick of the night. Next one, another fight that I am stoked on, dude. We got number 12, right, dude? Right? Number 12 ranked Giga Chikadze versus David Onama. Kyle has already locked in Giga Chikadze. Where are you going with it, John?
Give me 1 second. Just looking at his last opponent or two.
No worries.
Giga, see, the thing with Giga Chikadze, he's fought everyone at this weight class. He legitimately has. And it all depends, like I said a little bit ago, it all depends which version of him we see. It wasn't even close. He pretty much lost all 3 rounds pretty convincingly to Allen. But Arnold Allen's a contender. He is. Like, as much as people think, oh, Max Holloway beat him, Mavzar stole a win against him, I will constantly say that Arnold Allen won that fight. I don't.
That'll never not come up.
That's just like John Jones, Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes won that fight, but that's beside the point. Back to this, Giga Chikadze. He's basically the guy to see. If you beat me, then you could possibly be a contender. Damn, I want to go underdog here. Really do. I don't want to pick just favorites. Sure as hell ain't picking the next underdog.
I don't know if this will. I don't want to sway you. I don't know if this helps though or anything. Giga Chikadze is one of my favorite fighters in the division. I am going with the favorite on this one. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get the height and reach stats on these guys. Do you have that by any chance?
I don't. Let me pull that up real quick. David Onama, 5'11", 74-inch reach. Giga Chikadze, 6 feet tall, so 1 inch tall, and also a 74-inch reach. One of the deciding factors for me, though, I will say, is that David Onama is 30 years old. Giga Chikadze is 36 years old. And that's one of the ones I was telling you where the old guys that are imprinted on my heart going up against the young up-and-comers, I'm going against my usual gut. I'm going David Onama, just because I gotta start playing it smart eventually, man. I can't keep being so impulsive. That's who I am. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm a risk taker. I'm totally cool with, living on the edge and being impulsive and taking leaps of faith, and they just haven't been working out for me. So I got to reel it in and play it a little smarter on this one. So I will say, though, that Giga Chikadze is an absolute dog of the week pick. So if you're looking for some dogs to sprinkle on, Giga Chikadze is one of the best on this card that you can find.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with David on this one. I like Giga, but he did look slow in his last fight. And that's the big thing. A 30-year-old ain't going to be looking slow. And I'm one that always preaches, watch the last 1 or 2 fights. You don't have to watch 5 fights ago because they're a different fighter than 5 fights ago. But watch the last 1 or 2 fights. You could tell Giga was way slower than he normally was. And do I expect him to just speed it up afterwards? I don't know. So I'm going to go David. I think decision is a safe bet on this one. I do feel like it's going to be like a 29-28, maybe a 30-27, but I wouldn't even be surprised if we do get like a split decision. Like it could be a really close fight because Giga Chikadze can step it up. He really can. So
true.
Yeah.
True.
But I don't really feel finished in this fight. So I'll go over 1.5. I would even be safe. I even feel confident in saying over 2.5, but over 1.5 is a safer bet, obviously.
Good call. Yeah, I like the over 1.5. Man, like we were saying, it all depends on what kind of Giga Chikadze shows up. Because if the guy that I know and love, if the fighter I fell in love with early on shows up, it could be a very early night. It could be a very early finish, and very exciting fight. Exciting fight. It's going to be it's a tough one to call. But we're going 2 for David Onama, 1 for Giga Chikadze. Next one up, we got the co-main event. And if I do recall correctly, this is a retirement fight for Lionheart, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. He said this is going to be it.
This is going to be it. Damn, hell of a way to go out, man. Hell of a way to go out. We got number 15, number 15 ranked Anthony Lionheart Smith versus Zhang Mingyang. Zhang Mingyang at a minus 525, one of the biggest favorites on the card. Anthony Smith, the parlay buster, at a plus 400. Ooh, man. We got Kyle going Mingyang. I will also say Zhang Mingyang, but I'm not very confident in that just because, like I said, Anthony Smith will fuck your parlay up every chance he gets. So definitely stay away from this one. I think that the best bet on this one would be under 2.5.
I found a good stat.
Because it's very tough to, like I said, going with this is another one of those scenarios where I would pick Anthony Smith because I fucking love that dude. But it's not the smart way to go. It's not the smart way to go. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I said it last week. I'll keep saying it. All your favorite fighters are supposed to go out on their back. It's just how it is. Anthony Smith could have called it after his last fight, but he wanted to actually have a good camp after his coach and very good friend passing away and everything. So he wanted to do it properly and not let the emotions take over him. Don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah, Zhang Mingyang has 18 wins, 18 finishes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah,
and you're going to have to catch him in some like ankle pick or something. That's legitimately what I'm thinking. It's like some sort of leg submission. If not, you are getting knocked the hell out or submitted. This is going to be in all our first round finishes too. Holy, all 18 wins. All right. I'm gonna just be a little more bold and go under 1.5 because under 1.5. This is not going to be clean or fun. Definitely for Anthony Smith fans. I've always loved him. I have a video up on my TikTok from like 2.5 years ago of me talking about how I really like Anthony Smith, and someone's like, well, that's a weird person to have as one of your favorite fighters. I'm like, I've always liked him. It's just one of those guys, but it's like he's a dog, but all dogs must go down someday. So Zhang
all dogs go to heaven, baby. All dogs go to heaven.
So Zhang is going to absolutely crush him.
I am also going to lock in Zhang Mingyang. That will be an official pick since we're unanimous. I'm going to say under 2.5 is the most confident bet because I don't see this one going to a decision. But before we move on, if this is indeed Anthony Lionheart-Smith's final fight in the UFC, final fight, end all be all, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you have done, Anthony Smith. Thank you for all of the wars that you've been in. Thank you for all of the great times and all the great knowledge that you've shared with us. And prior to contrary belief by some, even though Anthony Smith was not a champion, he is 100% a champion in character and as a human being. And need I remind everybody that although he was not a champion, he very well could have been a champion.
Yep.
Because in the Jon Jones fight, not only could he have been a champion, he could have been one of 2 people to have a win over Jon Jones had he not had the type of character and just straight up balls and manliness that he possesses. He very well would have been in his rights to not continue that fight. He was fouled by Jon Jones. He could have taken the win. He could have taken the DQ win. He could have been a champion on that. He chose not to. He chose to be a fucking man. He chose character in that one. Yes. And he ended up taking the loss because of it. He went out like a fucking G in that one. And that is what I hope everybody remembers Anthony Lionheart-Smith for. People will, say on podcasts and stuff that he doesn't have heart or he gives up, things like that. That's all bullshit, in my opinion. Anthony Lionheart-Smith is one of the greatest dudes that this sport has ever had. One of the most, heartfelt, entertaining fighters. One of the guys that has given his all to this sport and always done everything that he could to make sure that we were all satisfied when he left the octagon. And I say for myself, and I think I speak for everybody in the fight pit when I say thank you, Anthony Smith. We're going to miss you, wish you all the best, and we appreciate everything that you've done.
Oh, definitely. And then on top of it, he has a great future in commentary and just analyzing fights and stuff like that. If you've watched post fights and pre-fight, he does some of the weigh-in shows. Like, he's very good and very knowledgeable about the sport and everything around it. He's big, and he's even big into the power slap too. So if you're into that, follow him. He's big into that too. So he has a bright future when it comes to staying around the sport. This isn't, even though he'll be done fighting, this is not it for Anthony Smith in MMA by any means.
Correct. Absolutely awesome commentator, just an absolutely awesome personality and an asset to this sport and this community. So we at the Fight Pit, Anthony Smith, wish you nothing but the best. We appreciate everything you've done. We're going to continue to be fans. We're going to continue to support you in everything that you do. And thank you for everything. We appreciate you. And finally reaching this main event. Oh my goodness. This was the hardest one. I still honestly have not locked in a pick. It's gonna come it's gonna come down to when we actually say it on this live recording right now. When I make my pick, we have number 7 ranked Ian Machado-Garry versus number 13 Carlos Prates. And oh man, this is some of the closest odds on the card. I think there's one fight on the prelims that is, I think it's the Cameron Simon fight is the only one that's closer odds. Yeah, Cameron Simon and Malcolm Wellmaker are -105, -115. This fight is -125 plus 105. So just barely not the closest odds on the card, but essentially it's a pick'em. Anytime you get anything this close, it's a pick'em. Folks. everything in my gut, I have picked with the Fighting Nerds ever since. I think it was one of Caio Bahalio's first couple fights in the UFC, and then after Rufi, Silva, and Prates all got finishes after that, I have blindly picked Fighting Nerds in every single fight since then, and I want so badly to continue to do that. I still might. I don't know yet. But this is another one of those fights I was telling you about where my heart says to pick Carlos Prates, but my brain says to pick Machado-Garry, because I feel like, especially after that Shavkat fight, if anybody is going to be able to get a hold of Carlos Prates and stifle that amazing striking, that just lethal, detrimental, explosive striking that he has, it's going to be Ian Garry. Ian Garry surprised all of us in that Shavkat fight. He was able to do what nobody else has done, take him to a decision and almost get the win. Almost get that win. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to hear your thoughts on it, but as of right now, I'm still very much so on the fence. I want to say Prates, but my brain is telling me to go Garry. I have no idea. What do you got, Sean?
So first I got Prates' 4 UFC fights when he has knocked out Trevin Giles. He has knocked out Charles Radke, which that's pretty impressive. He knocked out Li Jingliang, only time he's been knocked out in UFC, and he knocked out Neil Magny. How do you pick against that? Well, let's go to Ian Garry. Ian Garry, he has lost a short notice fight to step up and fight a number 1 contender fight against Shavkat Rakhmonov. It actually made 1 a round, and one judge had it as having 2 rounds against Shavkat Rakhmonov, and put Shavkat in a really bad position on the ground, had his neck and jaw, had him in a bad position, but ended up losing a decision, which was a really good fight. It actually raised Ian Garry's stock, because people were like, oh, Shavkat's getting this done in 3 and 2 and 4. No. No. He won a decision over Michael Venom Page, where he basically took him down a bunch. He won a split decision against Neil Magny. Not Neil Magny, Joff Neal, which it shouldn't have been split decision. Joff Neal lost that fight. Neil Magny, he absolutely destroyed him over 3 rounds. He knocked out Rodriguez. But he has shown in the fight right before that. Damn, I just had his name up. Song Kenan. He actually got clipped in the first round in that fight. That's where I was going through all the fights, and you see those decisions, this and that, and he's been hit by every one of these guys. But has he been hit by a shot that you could get phantom punched and get knocked out? I mean, the outer pinky knuckle touched Neil Magny's head and put him flatline KO'd when Prates hit him. And I'm like, wait, what did you hit him with? And then and then Prates says the best response when someone said that he didn't get, maybe Neil Magny took the fall. It's like, let me hit you and see if you get flatline KO'd too. Like,
facts.
Yeah, I mean, no, thank you. I have insomnia, but I don't need that. Thank you. I'm good.
I've been hit enough to know that I don't want none of that. I'm good.
Yeah, no, thank you. So this is a really tough fight. Ian Machado-Garry has incredible striking. That's what people are not counting, and they just think Carlos Prates is going to win this. He's going to have to. It all depends if Ian Garry does add in the takedowns and actually lands them. If he doesn't land them, then he's not going to get the openings on the feet as much, and you're going to have Prates pushing the pace. If Prates is on his back foot, like Alex Pereira, like we see these guys that are really heavy-handed, they need to be going forward, not backwards. That's a difference in this fight. Who is going forward? That's the winner of this fight, in my opinion. And it really depends on, do we believe in Ian Garry's takedowns and takedown defense over Prates' takedown defense? And does he get the one-shot knockout too? Because I don't believe Prates wins by decision. It's a 5-round fight. He is a smoker too, and a big cigarette smoker. People don't know that. He's starting to get a lot bigger now, but he's a big cigarette smoker. I'm telling you, 5 rounds, unless in round 4 they're having him take a puff or 2, he's going to be gasping. That's where it's. I'm really leaning Ian Garry, brain wise. Just definitely that Shavkat fight. It's like I do believe Shavkat beats whoever wins, wins at 315. Like that's who I do believe that. But like I think I'm just going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with Ian Machado-Garry. This is going to be the first Fighting Nerds loss. And I did say in our Discord that I believe 3 of the 4 Fighting Nerds will be champions someday. I think I said within the next 2 years. I did say that. And this is the one I don't expect to be it. I do expect the top of 170 is just too damn tough. And I believe him having a habit like smoking cigarettes is going to definitely catch up to him. You look at the other 3, you look at the top of the divisions, all the top of the divisions by the time he gets up there will be gone because of the age-wise. When it comes to 155 with Rufy, Kyle Brahillo could already be a champion at this point. Yeah, I'd put him up against anyone right now. Like I'm all in on him. And then obviously Gene Silva. I personally don't want him to fight Volk because I don't want to see Volk go out like that.
Yeah.
Like that's my opinion. I want Volk to retire. I do not want to see Gene Silva fight him because I really feel like Gene Silva is going to kill Volk. So, I think we have 3 champions coming from this camp. This is not one of them. I think Ian Garry is going to get this win. I think it will be by decision over 5 rounds, though.
You know what? I will say that in regards to the smoking, I was a very heavy cigarette smoker for 13 years. I quit. I'm on 5-6 years or so quitting. Thank you. Shout out to Zin.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's the entire time that I was a smoker, I have always had absolutely killer cardio. It's one of the things that I've always had going for me. I've been a cardio machine ever since I was a kid, just a little ADHD crack baby running around, never sitting still. I've always had killer cardio. When I was a heavy smoker, nobody could tell. My cardio, I had people telling me, I don't know how you are able to do everything that you do and still be a smoker. It's amazing. And I will tell you that it just never seemed to play a factor in my cardio. That being said, it does do that for many people. And especially depending on how long he has been doing it, excuse me, depending on how long he has been smoking, how heavily he's been smoking, and how intensely he trains his cardio in addition to being a smoker, because you really gotta you gotta make up for it. You know what I mean? Like you can't just sit around and smoke and expect to be a cardio machine. You really gotta make up for it. So if he does what he needs to do and is not relying on being a knockout artist in this fight, I think that he could last 5 rounds. I don't see him winning 5 rounds. I do think that he's going to be very heavily reliant on getting that finish. And like you said, I think it is going to all come down to, Ian Garry pressuring him, putting him on the back foot, having him back up, taking the center of the cage, not letting Prates pressure forward, not letting him get comfortable, find his range. And Ian Garry is very good at that. He's very good at that. I haven't been the biggest Ian Garry supporter up to this point. I'm still not, but I give credit where credit's due. Game recognized game, man. And he is very good. He's very good in all aspects of the game. He's great at implementing his game plan. When he's going up against somebody that he knows is a pressure fighter, he will pressure them. He will put them up against the cage. He will put them on their butt. He will make them work to get up. And all that being said, Carlos Prates, dog of the week. Official pick, Ian Garry. Ian Garry. We're going unanimous. We're going Ian Garry on this one. I think that it's going to be just too big of a step up too soon for Carlos Prates.
Yeah.
Ian Garry has been in the fire with the very top of the division outside of the champion, and he has fared very well for himself. He didn't get the win, but he fared very well for himself. I think that, going from Jeff Neal to Ian Garry is a massive jump, and no shade towards Jeff Neal at all. Jeff Neal, one of the absolute best in the world, and that's not a knock on Jeff Neal at all. But in regards to the weight class, in regards to the rankings, and in regards to the potential, we've all known that Ian Garry had championship potential since he got in, and going from Jeff Neal to Ian Garry is a huge jump. That's a huge jump, and I wanna stick with the fighting nerds, and I'm definitely locking in Carlos Prates as my dog of the week. But it's a massive jump. It's a huge ask of Prates to take on Ian Garry this early on. So I'm going to say Ian Garry gets it done by decision, if not a submission, because I think that if he's going to get a finish, he's going to get a hold of him. He's going to tire him out, drain his energy, get his back, and sink in a choke.
Yep.
So I'm going Ian Garry. I'm gonna also say it's going over. I'm gonna say it's going over 1.5 for sure. I don't think it gets stopped very early either way. So I'm gonna say over 1.5 is the safest bet, and we are official on Ian Garry for the picks. Yep. Bada bing, bada boom.
Dog of the week, I have. I'll put Prates also. I wanted to go Giga, but at the same point, he was a lot slower. So I'm going to go with Prates as my dog of the week. My locked-in favorite is who was Anthony Smith's fighting? Forgot.
Zhang Mingyang.
Zhang Mingyang, yeah. I know it's a minus 500 plus, but hey, it's a lock of the week. It's supposed to be a guarantee.
Yep.
So
absolutely. I will back you on that. I'm going to say Carlos Prates, dog of the week, and I think that if it's not Ikram Aloskerov, it has to be Zhang Mingyang. I like Zhang Mingyang more. Aloskerov is just one of those dudes that I still don't fully trust. But so we'll say official picks. We got Carlos Prates as our dog of the week, sprinkle, and Zhang Mingyang is the lock of the week at a minus 525.
We got a drink next to the team, yeah, we can handle it.
Okay, moving on to the Fight Pit UFC Trivia, the latest edition. This one, we have two very high-level welterweights going in the main event for this Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates card. So for the UFC Trivia, I am asking Sean, who are the fighters with the most finishes in UFC welterweight history?
Ooh, finishes.
This one, yes, there is a pretty significant tie for 8th place, but I'm pretty confident in 90 to 95% of these guys that you'll be able to nail. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right, I'll just go with the GOAT GSP. He's on there somewhere.
George St. Pierre, yes, in a tie for 8th place. He has 7 all-time.
Oh my God! So there's someone like 10 or 11 finishes in this weight class.
I will tell you, there are quite a few old school dudes. Not very many guys that are still competing. There is a handful of them, but there's quite a few old school guys.
Oh, Robbie Lawler
tied for 8th. Also, he has 7 all time. 2 for 2. Good start.
I'm thinking of old guys right off rip, just because some of the newer guys, it's like even Kamaru Usman's not a finisher, even though he's been around for a while. He's just not a finisher, so I can't go him. I can't go. I'm thinking of guys with a lot of wins. Bilal Muhammad, that's a hell no. That's a hell no. Jesus, I think he has one UFC finish, and he has like a fucking 13 fight win streak. It's like ridiculous. God damn, dude. Tyron Woodley. Did he have? What? No, I'm gonna skip Tyron Woodley. I'm gonna skip that one because I want to see. Yeah, that's why I want to skip him because he did have a lot of decisions. Also,
your one hint for the number one all time in the welterweight division was somebody that you recently did a list of the most finishes all time. He was at the tippy top. He was up there.
Oh, fuck! I'm not gonna remember his name. I legitimately am picturing him like white dude. Fucking the tiny, the really buzz cut, like the really short hair. I cannot get his name out of my mouth for some reason.
I'm gonna give it to you because I know you know. I know that you're thinking of the correct guy, but I know a lot of these old school names kind of get jumbled. The number one all time for finishes in the UFC welterweight division, Matt the Immortal Brown with 15.
I was legitimately thinking Mike Brown, and I'm like, it's not Mike.
Yep. No, I knew you knew it. I knew you knew it.
All right. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, there's no doubt about him.
Number two is a solid veteran that is still competing. He was recently scheduled to face Nick Diaz, and that fight fell out.
Nick Diaz? What the fuck was supposed to fight Nick Diaz? Vicente Luque?
Vicente Luque at number 2 all time with 14 finishes. He
does get finished. Wow, he has 14?
Yep.
Wow, I knew he had like 6, 7, 8, 9. 14, man, he's a finisher. Good for him.
Amen. Man. Amen. Still doing it too. Could fingers crossed, could possibly tie and yeah.
Wow.
Is there any other names that you want to just toss out there before we start knocking them out one at a time?
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Oh, that is a great guess, but unfortunately not correct.
He's probably like 6th, then. He's right outside it.
He's got to be tied for 9th.
Because I could think of like, all right, trying to think who old school guy that could have. Rory McDonald.
Oh, great guess. No, Rory McDonald not on the list. A few of his opponents, though, the guys that you've named have faced a lot of these guys.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it's just like who finished who is the question.
Yep.
That's so they're probably on the wrong end of some of these.
Yeah.
Anthony Pettis was 155, even though he has a finish or 2 at 170, but he was mostly 155.
Correct.
I don't know how long Nick Diaz was at 170 before going to 185. I don't think he was there long enough at 170.
That's a good call. No, not Nick Diaz.
No, he went from 170 to 180, and that's the same thing with Nate Diaz. He was at 155 and went to 175. 170. Yeah. So it's like, damn it. They both have finishes, just not that many in one class.
That's tough. Yeah. There's a lot of guys that bounced around. Probably could have been on the top 10 if they had stayed in one weight class, but
yeah. Gilbert Burns.
Ooh, very good call. Gilbert Burns not on the list, but he's got to be close.
Oh man, I could think of at least 4 finishes of his. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, he was another guy, 155 and then 170. Jesus Christ. I got to stop thinking of guys that had 2 weight classes.
It's hard.
Gotta stop doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna need some hints or something. I don't know off the top of my head. Like,
so number 3 all time, one of the GOATs of the welterweight division, somebody that doesn't get mentioned a lot in GOAT debates and in GOAT talks, but one of the GOATs of the welterweight division, was the number 1 pound for pound fighter for quite a while. He holds wins over GSP, Matt Serra, and BJ Penn.
Oh, Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes, number 3 all time with 11 finishes.
Wow, why did I even think of Matt Hughes? That's actually upsetting. Wow.
I told
bad.
I told you, you know a lot of these, but there's a lot of older names that just get jumbled up in the mix. It's been a while for a lot of these guys. Number 4 all time, somebody that actually got a finish over Matt Hughes. He faced GSP for the belt at one point. He was a very feared striker, a Brazilian knockout artist. He holds wins over quite a few guys on this list. He is now a coach, I believe, at American Top Team. He was a knockout artist, a very scary guy. Nickname one of the many pit bulls that we have had over the years.
Yeah, I do not know off the top of my head.
Number 4 all time. That's okay. Like I said, these are all a lot of older guys that we kind of forget about. Number 4 all time, Thiago Alves with 9 finishes.
I wouldn't have got that one.
This one was somebody that you guessed at one point in a recent list that we had. You wouldn't think of him as a finishing artist, but more of a wrestler. He was on the first season of The Ultimate Fighter, had a storied beef with Chris Lieben, was known for having bleached curly hair.
Oh, Kroschek, or isn't that his name? Kroschek?
I'll give it to you. Josh Koscheck.
Koscheck. Yep. Weird last
We'll
name.
count that. We'll count that, yeah.
How many did he have?
He had 8 all time, tied for number 5.
Wow.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You don't think of him as a finisher, but he had...
No, you don't.
Remember, he got the submission win over Anthony Rumble Johnson, one of the few guys that can say that in their lives.
Anthony Rumble Johnson at 170 is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
That is. Also tied for number 5, a very storied veteran, someone who has been through many generations, someone who is still competing to this day. The guy that we were just talking about, Carlos Prates, with the Phantom knockout.
Oh, Neil Magny? Yeah, I guess he does. He's been around so long, he has finishes. Yeah, he finished a Canadian kid not too long ago. Yeah.
Neil Magny tied for 5th with 8 finishes.
Wow.
Also tied for 5th, the last of the 3 tied for 5th. Another veteran that Carlos Prates knocked out before Neil Magny.
Oh boy. Was it Trevin Giles?
Nope. The other one.
The other one. Fuck. Oh, I don't remember who it was. Damn it. Trevin Giles, Jingling Liang, and there was Neil Magny.
That's it. That's it. You got it. Li Jing Liang tied for 5th with 8 finishes.
Wow. His 8 finishes? Man, he's been on a rough stretch not getting finishes in a long time.
Yeah.
He's probably 3+ years without a finish.
A lot of guys, man. A lot of guys that we need to give flowers to that have been doing it so long, and people just forget. All these new fans, they just don't even know, man. They don't even know. This one, a very tough one. I don't think any hints would be able to give you, because this is somebody that I even wouldn't have guessed. He was an old school fighter, had a lot of really awesome bad blood fights in the division with guys like Nate Diaz. Marcus Davis, the Irish hand grenade.
I wouldn't have guessed that, but I know who it is.
Yeah. This next one, I'll give you 2. He was the original firefighter, UFC fighter. A very slept-on name in the welterweight division, but one of my all-time favorite fighters, Chris Lytle. Shout out to Chris Lytle.
Yep, know who that is also. That's good.
This one I know you'll get if I give you some hints on this one. One of the most most decorated submission artists of all time. Fought for the belt in multiple divisions.
Multiple divisions. Fought for the belt.
At middleweight and welterweight.
Middleweight too.
Just think submissions. If you think submissions.
Yeah. I was going Damian Maia, but I just.
That's it. That's it.
Really?
Damian Maia.
Who the hell did he fight at 185?
Anderson Silva.
Oh, he did the snooze fest. Oh my God, that's why I forgot.
Yep.
Both his title fights were snooze fest. Man.
I think that. Oh, that's true. Yeah, his title fight against Tyron Woodley was the least strikes thrown.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh, poor guy. Poor guy.
Man.
He doesn't deserve that. Damian Maia was honestly the Silva fight. I think we all wish that we could forget about that one. Yeah. You got George St. Pierre and Robbie Lawler. Another one that's going to be tough is next on the list behind Robbie Lawler is Mike Pyle. Shout out to Mike Pyle. Not a lot of people I think would be able to get that one. No. This one is a name that I think you'll know, but might be tough for you to guess. He was a wrestler. He I think most remembered for the finishes that he suffered against certain fighters. He got knocked out against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in a fight where he was talking crazy stuff about Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's karate and how it wasn't going to work on him. He also lost by a vicious elbow KO knockout to Mike Perry.
Who the hell is this? Mike Perry and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson knocked him out.
But aside from those, a very solid fighter.
Yeah,
I mean, he's on the top 10 list for most finishes. Also tied for number 8 with 7 finishes all time. Jake Ellenberger.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have got that, but I know who it is.
This one was, this is another tough old school guy. He was a very touted prospect, had one of the greatest fights of all time with the number 1, Matt the Immortal Brown. Was able to have early success against Matt Brown, but Matt Brown was able to, like he does, the Immortal, just come back and put it on him, bring the fight to him, and end up getting one of the best fights of all times. Brazilian fighter by the name of Eric Silva.
I'm gonna have to watch that fight now.
It is so worth it, bro. It is so worth it if you can find it. The last 2 on the list, I know you'll get these. This guy fought Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland holds a finish over. His nickname is the Dirty Bird.
And you said he has a finish over Kevin Holland?
He got finished by Kevin Holland in the last couple years.
Got finished by Kevin Holland. The Dirty Bird.
Another old school guy.
Another old school guy. Who the hell? Another sign that Kevin Holland should stay at 170.
Yeah, seriously. These last two are actually a very solid testament to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
This one in another tie for 8th place with 7 finishes all time. Tim the Dirty Bird Means.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a very good finish.
It is. And then last one on the list, Kevin Holland's most recent fight.
Kevin Holland's probably fought 3 times since Thursday. I'm trying to think of who the hell he's. Jesus.
Kevin Holland's most recent UFC fight against a touted veteran who hadn't fought in a couple years. Very, very dangerous submission fighter. Was a very highly touted prospect. Went on a very solid run in the beginning. Is a little bit older now, but still a dangerous veteran. Kevin Holland's most recent opponent. Former training partner of Conor McGregor.
Beats me. I actually don't know. I really don't know.
You do know. Once I say it, you're gonna kick yourself. We were talking about it recently. We were having trouble deciding whether or not to pick Kevin Holland in this fight because Kevin Holland was on a bad streak and this opponent hadn't fought in a couple years, and that was the two things that you don't like picking: people on a bad streak and people who haven't coming off a layoff. You want to take a shot in the dark?
Who the hell didn't fight for a couple years at 170? Yeah, I'm still drawing a blank on this one. I don't know why.
Last one on the list, Gunnar Nelson with 7 finishes.
Yeah, I should have known that one. In my defense, Kevin Holland fights legitimately 30 times a year, and that's not even a joke. If it ain't in the UFC octagon, he's beating the crap out of a robber outside of Walmart. It's not even a joke. Just look at your nearest Walmart. I swear to God, he's behind there beating the crap out of someone that tried to steal a woman's purse. It's happening.
Yep. And when he's not in the octagon, you can find Kevin Holland talking shit on the shitter. We love it. We love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been real. That is going to cap it for this latest episode of the Fight Pit UFC Fight Night, Machado-Garry versus Prates edition. We appreciate you all for joining us. Thank you for watching. Welcome to anybody who's joining us for the first time. Thank you for joining us again if you are a returning subscriber. If you like this episode, if you liked anything about it, please hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. And don't forget to go follow us on Instagram at the Fight Pit Podcast. You can find all of us there. You can find all of our picks. You can find confirmed news, all the good stuff. All the good stuff. We got you. Sean, any parting words, my good man?
Once again, watch the prelims too. There's quite a few good fights on this. Definitely the prelim main event. You can't go wrong with that fight. And honestly, it's a pretty good card. Other than you have a couple murders on the main card, but other than that, it should be good.
Very solid card. Very solid card. We are excited about this one. Going to be a good time. Maybe some tugging on the heartstrings going on. We'll see. There is definitely going to be the over 0.5 retirements on this fight is definitely going to hit. We know that. So once again, thank you as always to everybody who supports us on YouTube, on Instagram, in any way, shape, or form. We appreciate you guys. We will be back here for the next one. Real quick before we go, official picks. Boom. There you have it, everybody. You can tail, you can fade. Let us know if there's anything that you're going with or going against down in the comments. We love hearing from you. Anything that we might have missed, let us know. Let us know. This is what we do. We are fighting nerds at heart, and we do love this to the core. We are very passionate about this. So we will see you guys on the next one. We got some fairly decent cards coming up, so it's going to be fun to talk about. Appreciate you, everybody, for joining us. We love you. We will see you on the next one. Peace.
As soon as I go and I step in arenas, they call me the champ. They know what it is, know what I do.